welcome back to Good Morning San Diego. The 76th State Assembly District encompasses San Marcos, Escondido, Rancho Penasquitos, and some of those other surrounding areas. So joining us now is one of the candidates for that state assembly seat in that district, Kristie Bruce Lane. Kristie, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, you're running up against Brian Manshine.
Yep.
In this district, and this is one of those races a lot of people are focused on. We see the signs everywhere.
Yeah.
It's what everybody's looking at. Can you sort of tell us where your priorities are for this district? I know you've really focused on a lot, including homelessness, crime.
Yeah, so the bad policies in Sacramento are hurting our families. It's hurting our children. The policies that my opponent has implemented, high gas taxes. He's voted 3 times to increase our gas prices. Our crime is out of control, double digits, and he's allowing sexually violent predators to remain next to our elementary schools. Our homelessness is spinning out of control. We have sick people on the street, and the sick don't even know they're sick, and my opponent has turned his back on our homelessness with no solutions. The one thing I do want to talk about today is our educational bureaucracy. Our children are caught in the crosshairs, and my opponent has done nothing to address this. We have a literacy crisis on our hands, and we've all heard about the literacy statistics that have been released. And, while we see the educational bureaucracy and the agencies pointing fingers at each other and making excuses, our children are suffering. So I sit on the board of San Diego Council on Literacy, and I'm so grateful because we're out there working hard to get books in the hands of the children. We've distributed 35,000 books in 1 month to get our children excited about reading, to get the parents involved as well. Statistically, 58% of third graders in California do not meet reading and writing standards. 49% of third graders in the San Diego Unified School District do not meet reading and writing standards. The reason why this is so important is San Diego Unified is the 2nd largest school district in the state of California, and they serve 20% of students. Now, the most egregious statistic is 77% of Latinos, third graders, cannot read or write. This is unacceptable. They are depriving our children of a future, of opportunity. I wonder if my opponent knows, what illiteracy does for our children's future. They can't fill out job applications. They won't be able to gain employment. It affects our lives so much, and our children are being deprived. What I am in support of, Lauren, in our school system are phonics. Go back to the basics and decode the words, not the comprehensive literacy standards we're seeing now where it's all memorization. Our children need to learn to read and write by 3rd grade, because if they don't, they're on the dropout track. I am a huge supporter of financial literacy as well, implementing finances into high school curriculum where our children will learn how to balance a checkbook, will learn what their credit score means, because not all children or not all kids will go away to college. These are very important, basic curriculum that we need. And I am a huge proponent of safe learning environments. Imagine getting a call when your child is heading into 3rd grade that your child can't read or write. I was that parent that got that call because my son was in a very unsafe learning environment where the school was negligent. We have a 34% increase in anti-Semitism on our campuses, Hindu phobia, Asian hate. Our kids deserve to be protected, and our kids do not need to sit behind the gates and merely survive. They need the opportunity to thrive, and that requires safe learning environments. We're at a point where it's our kids and their rules. And I know that my opponent supports vax mandates, and with no exemptions. So what is that going to do? It takes away the parental rights, and we're going to have more kids that are left not being able to go to school because our parents don't want our kids vaxxed. My opponent also supported AB 101, offensive curriculum, instead of focusing on reading, writing, math, and science. And he also supported SB 1100, which took away the parents' voices. They wanted to go into the board meetings and just express the disappointment. We care about our children. I have an 8-year-old. We care about our children. My opponent also touts that he, doubled the funding for our schools. Well, what happened to that money? There's zero accountability. There's zero transparency. Our kids are failing. Our schools are failing. In Poway School District, where my son attends, we didn't even have air conditioning units. Our kids were required to leave school early, missing more in-class learning because of this. We have infrastructure failure as well. We have a failure at every level, Lauren.
And I know, I mean, you're obviously passionate about that. Your background is in that with the Thumbprint Project. I wish we had more time to talk about that, but where can people go if they'd like to learn more about some of these issues you're passionate about in your platform?
Yeah, so KristieBruceLane.com. You can go onto my website. Please feel free to call me. I am available. I will return phone calls. I will return emails. We've got to turn this thing around. We are on the wrong track. Our children are caught in the crosshairs. We need to stand up, get out the vote, and let's get to work for our children.
All right, Kristie Bruce Lane, thank you so much for the time this morning. I appreciate you coming in. So as a reminder, Kristie Bruce Lane is running against Brian Manshine for the District 76 seat. We have reached out to Brian Manshine for an interview as well and are still awaiting a response. But there is the information there, and you have Kristie's website as